All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to explore a really unique philosophical framework, one that completely reframes how we think about love, happiness, and even success. You know, this entire philosophy really boils down to this one single, powerful question. It challenges us to flip the script on our search for happiness, suggesting that maybe, just maybe, it's not a journey of getting, but a journey of giving. So, at the very core of this whole thing is this one simple but incredibly profound sentence: love people, give life to people, forgive people. But the story of where this message came from, well, that's just as remarkable as the message itself.
So you might be wondering, where did an idea like this even come from? Not from years of deep philosophical study, nope. It came from a sudden, totally unexpected moment of what you could call a spiritual revelation. Now here's the crazy part. For the man who received this message, it was a total paradox. I mean, why? Well, because at that point in his life, he was living by the exact opposite principle. A desperate, all-consuming need to be loved, to be nurtured, and to be forgiven. You see, before all this happened, the speaker felt like he had hit rock bottom. He was just miserable because he had this deep desire to be loved and praised, but it was never, ever fulfilled. And that feeling led him to a pretty radical new way of looking at his life.
So this revelation just completely forced him to rethink everything. He started seeing life as two totally different paths. There's the path of the taker, what he called a spiritual vampire, always draining energy from others. And then there's the path of the giver, which is like being a source of light, leading to this expansive joy. And to really get a handle on this, he came up with this amazing mental tool, a balance sheet of love, where he would track every single act of love he'd given versus all the love he'd received. And when he actually did the math, so to speak, the result was shocking. His given column, almost zero. But his received column, man, it was overflowing with love from his parents, his teachers, his friends. He realized he was deep, deep in spiritual debt. And that was the light bulb moment. That was the turning point for him. He finally got it. His constant neediness, his taker mentality, was the very thing that was pushing away the love he wanted so badly. This insight is what drove him to build a more structured way to practice giving. So from that huge personal breakthrough, he started to build out this idea into a more complete theory, a kind of evolution of giving. It's not just one action, it's a whole journey of growth. So the big idea here is that giving love isn't just one thing you do. Nope. It's actually a journey, a kind of spiritual level up through three distinct stages: to love, to nurture, and then, finally, to forgive. Okay, so stage one, to love. This is the absolute foundation. It's all about flipping that switch in your head from take to give. You offer love with zero expectation of getting anything back. And the speaker said that the very moment he committed to this, his whole life started to change for the better. Then you get to stage two, to nurture. This is where you get more hands-on. It's not just about a feeling. It's about actively using what you know, your wisdom, your skills to help other people grow and succeed. Think of it like being a great coach or mentor. And then there's the final stage, the highest level, to forgive. And this one is tough. This isn't just about saying, "I forgive you." It's a deep, genuine compassion that you can only really have after you've been through the ringer yourself, after you've faced your own trials and failures. Okay, so this whole framework doesn't just stop at personal happiness. It goes even bigger and completely redefines what it means to be successful in life. Yeah, this idea of success is totally different from what we usually think. It's not about the car or the bank account. It's about your impact from what's called an eternal perspective, what you leave behind long after you're gone. This lasting legacy, which he beautifully calls the fragrance of your soul, is built on these three key things. So how do you achieve that kind of lasting success? Well, a key piece of the puzzle, especially for leaders, is this concept called toku. It's a super powerful idea. A leader's true worth isn't their title or their power. It's literally measured by how much time they spend thinking about making other people happy. And what's so cool is that this isn't just for individuals. The principle creates this amazing ripple effect, expanding outward to cover whole organizations and even entire nations. So the logic here is pretty clear, right? Just like a person needs to have a giving mindset to be happy, and a leader needs toku to be effective, the same exact thing applies on a bigger scale.
A healthy company, a thriving nation, they all run on this same currency of selfless contribution. Which, of course, brings it all back to us. It leaves us with a really powerful question to ask ourselves. If love really is a currency, take an honest look at your own personal balance sheet. Are you in the red, living in a kind of spiritual debt, or are you building real wealth for yourself and for others?